I'd like to ask the Minister for Enterprise what his intentions are for the future of the Enterprise Development Scheme.
Well, the Minister for Enterprise, Mr Skelly.
Good morning, Dr. As honourable members will be aware, we have made a commitment in the programme for government for our department to review the full range of financial assistance and enterprise support schemes and will produce a new framework by October this year. The Enterprise Development Scheme is part of that review, and although it has supported a number of businesses since its launch in 2016, we are in a different place now, and the time is right to now look at it more broadly against the needs we have today. Consequently, we are currently in the process of considering our options in conjunction with Treasury, which will include all our schemes and the Enterprise Development Scheme more specifically.
Supplementary, Mr Baker.
Thank you, Mr President. Does the Minister believe that the Enterprise Development Scheme is delivering on its objectives for the island, and does he believe that the cost of the scheme is appropriate to the amount that has been invested and the return it's generating?
Reply, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Yes, in terms of delivering, I think we need to go back to why we introduced this particular scheme. We listened to industry, we listened to business, and in 2016, the Ayre Expo, we launched this particular scheme. And we were trying to fill a gap in the marketplace where financial institutions were not lending to businesses, and we wanted to try and fill that gap. Since that particular point, we have reviewed over 300 different proposals. Whilst the number of businesses that have been invested is only 10 and the figure is only 3 million, there have actually been produced in the collective scheme, in the collective view, over 1,400 jobs actually in our economy since we actually launched this particular scheme. So it has had a measured effect in terms of promoting the Isle of Man being open for business, and we removed that one barrier.
Honourable Member for Middle, Mr Shimmons.
Thank you, Mr President. The Minister advised this Honourable Court in July last year that the scheme had got off to a slow start, but that it now had real momentum, and also that the fee structure would represent good value. Does he still stand by those assurances he gave to this Honourable Court?
Minister to reply.
Good morning, Dr. And yes, I thank the Honourable Member for his follow-up question, obviously taking a very keen interest, and I appreciate that. Yes, it has been a slow start, there's no doubt about that, but this is actually about promoting the Isle of Man being open for business. What we do know now, since we've actually launched this particular scheme, there are 4 other private investment schemes right here on the Isle of Man that is actually investing in businesses, particularly in this particular area. And it's well worth recognising what we're talking about here is investing in what we would regard as impact investing, that is in start-up businesses that we are hoping to have real growth acceleration here on the Isle of Man, promoting enterprise and entrepreneurship, which was the hallmark of what the Ayre Expo was all about. So when we had this in 2016 with Ayre Expo, we promoted start your business. Last year we said grow your business, and most recently a couple of months ago it was about locate your business right here on the Isle of Man. And the whole focus now is all around about employment, is all around about jobs. And I remind members that since we started this particular journey, there are 1,400 more jobs in employment since 2016, which I would regard as a success.
Supplementary, Mr Baker.
Thank you, Mr President. Could the Minister please clarify the 1,400 jobs? He's referred it in the same sentence as to the scheme having made 10 investments, totaling £3 million, and he's associated that with the number of jobs that have been created in the island since the scheme started. Does he really believe that that's a fair reflection of the impact of the Enterprise Development Scheme, or are they just 2 facts that happen to have both gone on at the same time?
Reply, sir.
Good morning. No, this is actually about all our schemes that we actually use to promote and invest in our economy here. The startup scheme has actually seen over 150 businesses started here since we launched this in 2016. The financial assistance scheme and other schemes has supported over 550 businesses here on the Isle of Man. So it's combined, not just the one particular scheme, and it's all about actually a shop window. And I just remind members, this is about being open for business. And I know we have a presentation coming up with the Chamber of Commerce shortly, which will talk about the barriers to business, and at a particular point in time, we've actually helped business and we removed that barrier, and therefore we've got confidence in our economy going forward.
Honourable Member for Onken, Miss Edge.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just with regards to what the Minister said with regards to start-ups, does the Minister feel that the process that these people that are wanting to start up business is appropriate? I actually believe it's a bit over-bureaucratic and perhaps is hindering some of the start-ups due to the processes in place with regards to training, which if somebody is trying to set themselves up in business, it's very difficult for them to take downtime to do training. Can the Minister make a comment on that, please?
Reply, sir.
Good morning. I thank the Honourable Member for her interest in start-up businesses. I would regard start-up businesses as really the grassroots of our economy, and we should encourage that. And I would hope Honourable Members will be aware of the fact that we have already reviewed that particular scheme. We've just actually increased the benefit for that scheme that is supporting both businesses and employment in the same right. So you can actually grow your business and get support increased. And that's just happened just this last month, 2 months ago, when we actually had the Isle Expo for this year. So startups is very much, as I say, the grassroots, which we do want to support. We've already lifted the benefit that we offer to start-up businesses. And in terms of the bureaucracy, there is a certain amount that must overlay there, because this is taxpayers' money, and we'd have to recognise that point. But I'd also say that we are on a continual basis of reviewing our financial support schemes, which is why, as I said to begin with, we already made a commitment in the programme for government, and we'll bring back a new framework in October of this year.
Honourable Member, Mr Shimmons.
Thank you, Mr President. Please can the Minister clarify how many jobs have been created by the $3 million spent on the EDS, and what fees have been paid by the taxpayer in relation to that £3 million invested?
Reply, sir.
Good morning. Excellent. In terms of the actual jobs, these are all start-up businesses. Currently, there is only 11 jobs. However, there is a number of potential jobs on the back of that, because they are small start-up businesses that we are hoping to obviously accelerate. So in terms of the fee structure, I've already highlighted that, I think, previously in an answer. I'd be more than happy to share once more with the Honourable Member or the Honourable Court. But in terms of what we're trying to deliver here and actually review the process, we are looking at all that to ensure that we do provide support for businesses right here on the island.
Final supplementary, Mr Baker.
Thank you, Mr President. Does the Minister really think that £270,000 per job created is a reflection of a successful scheme? And would he agree with me that really the Enterprise Development Scheme should be a candidate for the SAVE initiative?
Mr Skelly.
Yes, good morning, Excellent. Yes, I take the Honourable Member's point here. This is actually looking at one particular scheme. But what we do know is that inquiries have come in, over 300, and 11 schemes have actually been, proposals have actually been reviewed. There's only a small number that have actually been invested. And we are aware that some of those have actually gone on and seeked and gained private investment. So they've come through what I would regard as the shop window of business being open. And what I come back to again is what we need to do as a government, and a responsible government here, is we need to look at the barriers for business. And in this particular case, this was about the financing. We've moved on from that. We've committed to review it, and we will be coming back in October with a new framework, which we're going to work very closely with Treasury before we do that. Good morning.